Welcome to our series on the Outsight and Insight of leadership, where we focus on the outside skills as well as the insight of life transformation needed for enduring and sustainable Christian leadership. Today, we want to focus on an leadership insight. The first fruit leader is the best spiritual leader. What makes a good spiritual leader? We could say that one that has godly values. We could say it's one that uses one's skills for God's mission. We could say that it's one who truly loves others. Now, these are all important and valid insights. But for our insight today, I want to draw from Romans chapter 12, which says that we have different gifts according to the grace given us. If it is leadership, let him govern diligently. Now, while these verses speak of the gift of leadership, the overarching context of Romans 12 is actually found in verse 1 and 2, which says these words. Therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. The leadership gift is meant, as it were, to be housed, within a person who's transformed in mind and experience and lives out God's will in one's own life. Whatever God desires for His people, He often desires His selected leader to be transformed in life, to be that first fruit of God's purposes before the rest. Now, this makes that leader the best instrument of God's purposes. Hence, firstly, leading the way as a model yourself is a trait of a first fruit leader. James tells us He chose to give us birth through the word of truth that we might be a kind of first fruits of all He created. Pastor Murray once said, "My people's greatest need is my personal holiness." Indeed, God intended for us to be the first kind of His fruit for the world to see. Hence, the leader that showcases the change God desires is the best kind of leader to lead His people. Therefore, secondly, discovering God's aspect of His character revealed through each challenging moment is also a trait of first fruit in a leader. When we go through upheavals in our leadership, the psalmist reminds us, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." We learn to hold back on our personal ambitions and desire to solve problems. Instead, we come to know what God is doing, what aspect of His character is being made manifest through His working in the challenge we face. I remember when I went through a very depressing time, and there was only darkness that I could see amidst my situation. And as I sought to be still and know God in that challenge, God revealed to me a picture of Him from Revelation chapter 1. I saw Jesus with head and hair white like wool, white as snow. His eyes were blazing like fire. His face was like the sun shining in all its brilliance. And God revealed that in this darkness, God is my light. He is my brilliance. He does not change. I can trust Him for a revelation through a time of utter darkness. See, discovering God's aspect of character revealed to the leader helps one to experience God afresh and anew and be able to communicate that revelation of God to followers in times of challenge. And this leads to understanding, thirdly, that God's word breaking one's heart through the leadership experience is a trait of the first fruit leader. Leaders often cast vision from the Bible, they preach from the Bible at the pulpit, but the most powerful vision caster or preacher is the one where the very word that was delivered confronted the heart of the leader first and broke his or her heart over that truth. And such leader comes with humility and tears, not with arrogance or pride, subjecting oneself most under God's word as one casts or preaches it to the followers. And this makes that leader a broken vessel, suitable to carry God's shining word to followers. Friends, I have never seen a cynical leader used by God. But I have seen people have gone through ups and downs, hurts and even betrayals, but have carried a heart still tender to God's voice. These are the leaders still used powerfully by God even in their later years. May you have a heart tender to God, even into the old age, as God's leader. May you always seek to be the person God shapes you to be first, before your task of representing God's direction to your followers. I believe through that you will be the best kind of leader and you will experience God's blessing upon your leadership in your church life.